Optibotimus coming with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Dark of the Moon Deluxe Class Walmart exclusive repaint of the sidearm Sideswipe figure. Now this figure for a little while received a little bit of controversy. When it originally showed up on online auctions, it was listed as being a rare exclusive memorial Sideswipe figure, limited to only 1,000 pieces and released exclusively only overseas. There's actually still some websites such as iGear who are promoting this as a 1,000 piece exclusive, and that's utter crap. Do not fall for that, guys. Images and pictures have surfaced showing this guy in package with the "Only at Walmart" sticker stuck to it. So that's the only level of exclusivity that this figure is really going to have. And it's very unfortunate that companies such as iGear are perpetuating this entire false sense of what this figure actually is. And honestly, I say shame on them for that. But this figure is absolutely fantastic looking. I love the paint job on here. Now this is my very first sidearm Sideswipe mold that I've ever gotten. I initially passed on the original Hasbro release because I didn't like the silver with the red flame things here in the front. And I never got around to getting the Takara release of them, which was all silver. But this is a really nice looking paint job on this guy. The figure itself is a huge step up from the original deluxe version of Sideswipe. Unfortunately, it doesn't have his blades, but it's still a really nice figure. Now, as I mentioned, the color on this thing is really, really nice. That being said, it's also an homage to the G2 GoBot Sideswipe figure, which had a very, very similar paint job to what you see here. And on the roof here, as well as the doors and the back section, you see the number 4 on them. That's an homage to the G1 Japanese ID number for Sideswipe. Another homage is the Sunbro, which I guess it could kind of mean two things. Sunstreaker's bro, or Sunstreaker's brother, or Sunbow, which is the production company that I believe originally produced a lot of the original G1 cartoons in addition to the original 1986 animated movie. If you look here, yet another homage, the Lithonian drivetrain. Lithon was the planet that Unicron ate at the beginning of the original animated movie. On the back here, a really nice Transtech symbol. Also, you obviously Rat Trap, which that's an obviously Beast Wars or Beast Machines character. And Macadam is the old oil house that was a popular drinking establishment in various Transformer series. Obviously, gorgeous looking Autobot logo, and I do really want to thank Striker055 and Autobot Burnout from the TFW 2005 forums who really helped me to identify all the various homages that this figure has. And he's got tons of them, and it just adds so much to the character of this thing that I'm really thrilled that I actually picked this thing up. Now, much like his previous versions, he does have this weaponized mode, and the easiest way for me to get to it is to do it this way. Kind of lift this, separate this section here. He's got his little weapons stored up in here, and one of them just popped out. That lifts out, and then you just rotate these little bits around. Rotate this out. They get in there really tight, and it's actually kind of a pain in the butt to get them out, but you can rotate that up like so, put everything back, rotate this back down, leave that tabbed into place, tab in the sides, and here you have them in a weaponized format, I suppose, with really, really baby blue or allspark blue weapons. Something that a lot of people have actually kind of complained about. Mostly because, honestly, they look kind of silly like that. It would be much better if they were painted blue like the rest of the vehicle itself. Now, even though I've never actually reviewed the sidearm Sideswipe figure itself, I'm not going to really focus on the transformation for the guy. A lot of people have already seen him, and it's kind of redundant by this point in time. Now, I really, really love the way that this guy looks. The mold just in general is fantastic, but the colors just really make him vibrant and stand out. I love the way it looks. One kind of noticeable problem that I do have is I don't like the fact that his face is painted silver His chest piece is painted this kind of really light gray, and his legs are painted this dark gray. That just really kind of throws the whole look, I suppose, off. I would really love it if if they could just pick a color and go with it. The silver on the face would look fantastic if it was done throughout the body and the legs themselves. That's one minor nitpick that I have about it. But just in general, the figure itself is just a huge improvement over the previous deluxe version that we got with the original Revenge of the Fallen line. You keep this however you really want. But it's just a great looking figure. In terms of his articulation, his head obviously is on this ball joint, so you get left to right, up, down, whatever you really want to do. Arms swivel out and they rotate at the shoulder, they bend at the elbow, and I guess because of his transformation, I guess you could say he's articulated at the wrist, sort of. Nothing at the waist, back and forth at the hip, and then his knees are really kind of... They lack some articulation here because you got this big giant hose thing attached to it, so you really can't get too much, but I don't know, I guess maybe he's just supposed to roll around all over the place. Now his guns, which I had stored on his back initially, also have a little bit of a transformation, I suppose you could say. Take that and now you transformed it. And that's about it. You see this one in here. The best way to kind of get these in there, because it's kind of a pain, go on an angle like this and then just rotate it around. And that puts them in there pretty nice. And you get some really nice poses. I really love the way that this guy looks. I just think he's an absolutely fantastic figure. But the paint job on here just really stands out for me. All the homages, everything that goes into this figure, all the character, all the past, all the history, just really makes him kind of stand out and makes him a really fun character to have in your collection. Now, as I said, in terms of the paint job on this thing, this figure far exceeds any expectations that I ever had. The vehicle mode, just littered with all these beautiful homages, makes this just an absolutely gorgeous figure. The transformation is actually fairly simple. And the fact that this is probably like the third or so version of this figure, people should be pretty familiar with how to transform this guy by now and not really have any problems. The robot mode does lack some actual paint details that I would really like to see, especially in the chest and the legs. The fact that there's three different kind of like grays and silvers that are going on really kind of clashes with how it looks in robot mode. But in general, I still think that it holds a very high place, in my opinion, on how this figure looks, even in robot mode. Without a doubt, that this is one figure that if you are a true Transformer fan and you get all these homages and you love it, you're gonna want to pick this figure up. For some of you newer fans, you may not know a lot of these homages and you're like, oh, well, it's just the yellow and blue Sideswipe, whoopie-doo. Those are the people that are probably gonna pass on this figure. But the true fans, the long time, all the way back to G1 fans, are really going to like this, I can tell. So without a shadow of a doubt, I highly recommend picking this guy up. So until next time, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. I'll talk to you later.